LEGO Spider-Man has some of the best sets in Marvel, but also some of the worst. So today I'm going to be buying some of the worst rated LEGO Spider-Man sets. The only rules are, I cannot buy 4+ sets, mechs, polybags, because those would be the entire list, and I have to leave a good review on every set without lying. The first set I bought was the Spider-Man Monster Truck vs. Mysterio with a rating of 3.4 stars. Before I even address the title, let's just read some reviews. Joey P said, "Didn't expect so many pieces." That's the entire review, but Joey, my man, it tells you the piece count on the box. What do you mean you didn't expect so many pieces? David said, "Love all, but the netting barely shoots." I guess we'll have to see if he's right or not, but I'm more confused on why a monster truck even has that feature. And now Maguire said, "Great figures and Doc Ock arms, but Spider-Man doesn't need a truck." But let's see if the set is really that bad. First off, after building this set, I can already debunk Joey's review. The set didn't have too many pieces. It had about 439 to be exact. As for the figures, I can agree with Maguire on this one. All the figures are great. I also like Doc Ock's arms. And this hoodie piece for Spider-Gwen was new at the time, which made it cooler when this first came out. And the drones are also cool and a nice inclusion. But not for the monster truck. David was right about the netting. This thing sucks. Most of the time it literally doesn't even shoot over the top of the truck. It's actually one of the worst shooting features I've ever seen in a LEGO set. It's honestly so bad. And Maguire also said that Spider-Man doesn't need a truck, and I'm gonna have to agree. Especially a monster truck like this. Now before you jump on me in the comments saying this is for kids, you're being dramatic. Shut up. In LEGO's defense, many other toy companies give Spider-Man vehicles, but they're all stupid. Why not just give the villain a vehicle? That makes way more sense. And people will argue that it's for kids, but even when I was a kid, I thought it was stupid. And this set especially. I mean, giving Spider-Man a car, okay, whatever, but a monster truck? First off, there's literally no being stealthy with this. The villains are gonna know he's coming, and this is 100% not street legal. So at this rate, Spider-Man is gonna get arrested before the villains do. On top of that, this has to be an ego trip for Spider-Man. I mean, his name is all over the truck. So if the villains didn't know he was coming by the big red and blue monster truck coming towards them, they would definitely know by his name plastered all over the front. Not to mention, he literally got a license plate that says Spider-Man #1 on it. I mean, do I need to say anymore? His ego must have been through the roof whenever he made this. But I guess it's time to write my review. This set is a great set for kids. It has a good figure selection, and a really big monster truck to distract the villains while Spider-Gwen attacks them and catches them off guard. The next set is Spider-Man's Drone Duel, also with 3.4 stars. And Travis said, "I like both the figures, they are both very well made. What I didn't like very much was the construction of Spider-Man's ship, but it's not that bad. The one that I don't like is the Vulture's wings. They come apart very easily and the construction is a little bad. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's the other way around. I think the drone is dumb and the wings are actually really good. For the Spider-Man figure, I mean, it's fine. It was in the movie and it's loaded with printing. It looks really good. I just personally don't really care for the suit, but that goes for the movie as well. I don't really care for it in the movie either. Now the Vulture figure, however, I think is very good. I still prefer the original one from the first Homecoming sets, but this one is still good. It's really just a different interpretation of it. And also for the wings, I disagree with them falling apart. They don't really fall apart like Travis claims they do. I also prefer these wings over the original ones. I like the original ones, I just think that they're a little bit big. They both look great, I just kind of like the smaller one a little bit more just because it's not as big. And now for the Spider-Man drone, I truly hate this thing. I don't like any Spider-Man vehicles, but this one is my least favorite one ever. The black and gold doesn't scream Spider-Man at all. And I know it was meant to match the suit that's in the set, but I just don't like the color scheme if I'm being honest. But I mean, this is the same set to give Spider-Man golden webs, so there's nothing in here that really feels like Spider-Man aside from the name. Now again, I really hate this drone. I just don't understand why it's a huge drone. Why not like a helicopter or a jet? Why a drone? It's just such a weird choice to me. Not to mention Spider-Man can fly it, and I don't understand why, because he can't see through the solid gold piece that shields him inside. It was also a Spider-Man No Way Home set inspired by Homecoming, but it isn't even really based on Homecoming. It's really just the inclusion of Vulture that makes it even close to Homecoming. And the drone is kind of shaped like a Spider-Man symbol, which is a little cool, I guess. And it also has a little Spider-Man gadget and a golden web that hangs off the back. But I don't know, personally, I don't really care for the golden webs, but it's just something a little bit different just for the sake of being different, so I guess it's fine. Overall, I think this set is 50% good because I like everything to do with Vulture, but nothing to do with Spider-Man. This set is a good addition to your Spider-Man Homecoming collection, and it has a nice new version of Vulture and his wings. And just in case you wanted a new version of Spider-Man, it includes that too, along with the drone for him to fly around for whenever he runs out of webs. This next one is one of the older ones, Spider Helicopter Rescue with 3.2 stars. And the first review is from Franklin, and he said, "Don't like the idea of Spider-Man using vehicles when he doesn't really need them for the most part, but overall it's a good set." All I gotta say is let's give a round of applause for Franklin because he knows what he's talking about. And now Nelson said, "Fun build, but maybe not the best play. A bit awkward and fragile, but it looks great, and the giant figure is a nice addition to the growing collection." Now I don't know about it being fragile, but I guess we'll have to find out. So to start off, I like the Spider-Man MJ Luke Cage and the Green Goblin. Now I might be a little bit biased on this set because it is nostalgic for me, but this is a bad set. I mean, I don't understand why this helicopter has two huge engines on the left and right. Most helicopters don't have anything like that. Not to mention it has a blue and red color scheme, which again just screams that Spider-Man is on the way. Now the Green Goblin glider is actually really cool. It's my favorite build of the set and I don't really have any problems with it. Now for the set being fragile, it really isn't. It's actually held together really well. It's actually very far from fragile. So I don't know what Nelson's talking about. As for Franklin, I agree with him that Spider-Man doesn't need a vehicle, but the helicopter does have a few features that makes it a little bit cooler. First off, it has these flick fire missiles, which work decently well, and on the left side you can also shoot this net, which doesn't really work well. It's still better than the monster truck one, but none of these net shooters are ever really that good. And now you can have Luke Cage pilot the helicopter, and in the second area there isn't a spot for Spider-Man to sit, but there is a place for his webs, which is so you can have this feature of him hanging below the helicopter. And this is the one thing I will say about Spider-Man vehicles. Out of all the vehicles for him to have, the one that makes the most sense is some type of flying one, because it makes it where he can get to the villains that go too high above the buildings. But aside from that, it's still stupid for him to have a vehicle. But to me, this one is just like the least dumb one. This set is a great addition to your collection with unique characters that you can't get otherwise. The helicopter is a good looking vehicle that makes the most sense for your Spider-Man to have. And Green Goblin's glider is also a great additional build that adds more layers to an already decent set. The next worst rated Spider-Man set is the Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock set with 3.1 stars. Now this set didn't really have bad written reviews, they were just bad ratings. So I'm just going to talk about this one, and I mean, to start off, it has a nice Spider-Man. It was one of the newer ones at the time, and I think it's a clean looking Spider-Man. But the Doc Ock I low-key think looks stupid. It's fine, I don't think it makes the set worse, but it's just one of the worst Doc Ocks in my opinion. The arms they use for him are fine, I guess. But as for the exclusive figure, the Spider-Girl is fine, I guess. I mean, she doesn't have an alternate face or leg printing, but I mean, it's okay, it's just a fine figure. All the figures in this set are really nothing special, and the set itself doesn't save it. Now, like I've said many times before, I don't care for Spider-Man vehicles, and my least favorite one ever is the Spider-Man drone, but the Spider-Man crawlers are number 2 for me. I just don't care for them, they're all weird to me. It's also just so oversized. I always hate oversized vehicles, not just Spider-Man ones. I actually don't mind this Spider-Man bike, and I remember liking it whenever I was little, because it's smaller and it's actually in the show that it's based on. But all these other Spider-Man vehicles are just dumb. Just in case you didn't like the spider crawler, this one does have a special feature. Not a cool one, but a feature nonetheless. You can disconnect the legs from the bike and just have a spider bike for Spider-Man. But don't worry, you can also connect the 2 legs to create this. And I know that this is just a Lego set, but this thing looks like it would be so slow if it was real. And it's not like this Doc Ock is going to be hard to beat like this one or this one might be, because he has such small tentacles. I just honestly think these sets would be cooler if they just gave the villains vehicles instead of Spider-Man. But I still gotta write a good review. This set includes a cheap way to get Doc Ock and a Spider-Man, but it also gives you an extra figure with Spider-Girl, who's a nice inclusion. And the spider bike is a nice inclusion for kids, and is a good tool to help Spider-Man beat Doc Ock. Now the worst rated Spider-Man set ever is the Spider-Trike vs. Electro with 2.9 stars. George said, "Pieces were too small, would not recommend for anyone with toddlers." Now George, you do know it has an age range on the box, but you're technically not wrong. And LEGO doesn't disagree with you, as on the exact box for the set you bought, it literally says, "Warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years." So I'm not gonna lie, George, this one's on you. And now Jessica said, bought this for a 6/7-year-old who loved it. Do I need to say any more? And now for the actual set, this one is nostalgic for me, so I don't 100% hate this set. I certainly don't think it's the worst Spider-Man set ever, but clearly other people disagree. This Spider-Man figure was still new at the time and is good, and the Electro I personally like a lot. It's still one of my favorite versions of Electro, but the trike is where this set is bad. I mean, first off, it's called a trike, meaning it should have 3 wheels. I mean, genuinely, how do you even mess that up? And it also just looks bad, and it's pretty hard to argue that it doesn't. Now what really gets me about this set, and really all the Spider-Man vehicles, is if Spider-Man was real, and I'm being attacked by Electro, and I see Spider-Man pull up on a motorized tricycle, I'm doomed. I'm not getting saved. I mean, how do you have the powers to swing all across the city and you choose to obey traffic laws? I mean, do you see why most people think it's dumb for Spider-Man to have a vehicle? If you really think about it, it's just unnecessary. Now, yes, it's for kids, but even when I was a kid, I thought it was stupid. I would have rather had villain vehicles. I just feel like that would sell better and please all ages. But I guess it's time to try and write a good review. This set includes a good Spider-Man and a great Electro minifigure. Spider-Man is given a 4-wheeled trike to fight back with Electro. And overall, it's a good set to start your Spider-Man collection. Now, although these sets are bad and really don't make any sense for Spider-Man, I want to read some of the reviews that I skipped in this video. Marcus said, My son liked it very much. Lucas said, very good set, my nephew loved it. And Sarah said, my great-grandson was thrilled with the LEGO set and thoroughly enjoys playing with it. I think you get the point. No matter how much I or other people complain about how stupid a set is, at the end of the day, these sets are for kids. And yes, they are becoming more for adults with the 18+ line, but these are for kids. These are most of the time gifts for someone's grandson, son, or friend. And that shows the real point of these sets. They're meant for kids to enjoy and play with, and from what most of the reviews say, they serve their purpose.